He was born blind. He could not see light. He could not see colors. He could not see faces. His mother cried. The doctors felt sorry. People called him a poor child. He was not a poor child. He was a fighter. He listened to sounds. He felt the wind. He counted his steps. He remembered every voice. He learned fast. He knew who was in the room. He knew where he was standing. He used his mind. He used his memory. He used his focus. One night, he heard a man on the radio. The man was Tony Robbins. Tony was strong. Tony was confident. Tony said, "It's not what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens." That line changed his life. That line woke him up. He sat up. He smiled. He felt strong. He said, "I cannot see, but I can choose. I can decide. I can grow." He started training his mind. He learned how to breathe. He learned how to move. He learned how to focus. Tony called this state. State means how you feel. State means how you stand. State means how you think. The boy stood like a leader. He spoke like a leader. He felt like a leader. He said, "I am not a victim. I am a creator." He did not have eyes, but he had vision. He could not see walls, but he could feel space. He could not see people, but he could hear emotions. He walked with confidence. He spoke with power. His journey had begun.
He woke up early. He sat in silence. He breathed deeply. He listened to the world. He heard birds. He heard cars. He heard his own heartbeat. Every sound was a signal. Every noise was a message. He knew where he was without seeing. He could count steps. He could feel air. He could sense movement. He read books with his ears. He listened to Tony Robbins daily. Tony said, "Change your state, change your life." Tony said, "Focus is power." The boy believed it. He began to practice. He stood tall. He spoke loud. He moved with energy. He said, "I can feel strong. I can act brave. I can live fully." He used his memory. He created mental maps. He counted doors. He measured walls. He learned sound patterns. He knew when a door was open. He knew when someone was near. He trained his hearing. He trained his mind. His teachers were shocked. They said, "He moves like he can see." He smiled. He said, "I see with focus." Tony's words helped him. He learned about beliefs. He learned about decisions. He said, "I am not broken. I am becoming." He believed he was strong. He believed he was capable. He believed he was enough. One day, he spoke to a group. He stood in front of a classroom. He told his story. He said, "I cannot see faces, but I can see your dreams. I cannot see color, but I can feel your pain. I cannot see limits, because I don't believe in them." The room was silent. Then came claps. Then came tears. He was no longer just a blind boy. He was a guide. He was a teacher. He spoke again, this time in a bigger room. More people came. They wanted to hear his story. He walked to the front. He stood tall. He was calm. He smiled. He said, "Your past does not define you. Your decisions do. You can choose. You can change." The audience was silent. They listened carefully. He told them about Tony Robbins. He told them about powerful beliefs. He said, "I was blind, but I was not hopeless. I was not weak. I just had to decide." He spoke about focus. He spoke about state. He spoke about action. He said, "If you control your focus, you can control your life." He asked the room, "What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on pain, or are you focusing on possibility?" People began to nod. Some wrote notes. Some closed their eyes. They felt something shift. He was not just speaking. He was leading. He was teaching. After the talk, a man came to him. He said, "I can see, but I was lost. You cannot see, but you are as clear. Thank you. You opened my eyes." The boy smiled. He said, "We all have blindness. Some is just inside." He kept going. He spoke at schools. He spoke in halls. He spoke on radio. His message was simple. You are more than your limits. Your story can become your power. He shared his tools. He taught breathing. He taught posture. He taught language. He told people to watch their words. He said, words create feelings. Feelings create action. He taught what Tony had taught him. He passed it on. He was no longer just a student. He was a teacher. He was invited to a conference. There were hundreds of people. They were managers, students, and parents. He walked to the stage. He used his stick. He counted his steps. The room became quiet. People watched carefully. He stood still. He took a deep breath. He said, I do not see your faces, but I know your hearts. I know you are here for more. He paused. He said, people told me I could not live a normal life. They said I would need help now forever. But they were wrong. I chose to learn. I chose to grow. I chose to lead. He spoke about the power of a decision. He said, one decision can change your life. One shift can change your future. He asked, what are you deciding today? What are you waiting for? He walked around the stage. He spoke with power. He smiled with confidence. He told them how he used Tony's tools. He said, change your state, change your focus, use your body, use your voice. He raised his voice. Don't wait for perfect. Take action. Start now. The crowd clapped. Some stood. Some cried. He was changing lives. He was not just a speaker. He was a leader. He started a program for youth. He taught them confidence. He taught them tools. He said, I was born with a challenge, but I was also born with a gift. And so were you. He gave them belief. He gave them strength. And they followed him. He woke up at 5 a.m. He sat on the floor. He took deep breaths. He felt the cold air. He smiled. He was ready. This was his routine. Every morning he trained his mind. He focused his thoughts. He asked, what am I grateful for? What can I do today? He learned this from Tony Robbins. He did not wait to feel good. He created his state. He stood up strong. He moved with energy. He spoke with power. He said, I do not see, but I choose to rise. I choose to grow. I choose to lead. He helped young people. He sat with them. He listened to their pain. He felt their fears. He told them, your past does not own you. You can write a new story. You can change your future. He used his voice. He used his heart. He used his truth. One day, a girl said, I was going to give up, but you showed me hope. He held her hand. He said, you're strong. You just forgot for a moment. More people joined his sessions. They came from far. Some were rich. Some were lost. They all needed hope. He told them his truth. I was born with no sight, but I see clearly. I see with faith. I see with purpose. And so can you. He gave them tools. He taught them state. He taught them language. He taught them visualization. He said, picture what you want. See it in your mind. Feel it in your body. Speak it with your voice. He showed them how to focus. He showed them how to decide. He showed them how to act. One man stood up. He said, you changed my life. I was blind inside. Now I can see. The room stood with him. They clapped. They cried. They believed. And the blind man smiled. He had found his mission: to teach, to lead, to light the path. He was invited to a national event. It was a big stage. There were thousands of people. Some were leaders. Some were teachers. Some were students. The lights were bright. The room was loud, but he felt calm. He stood at the center. He held the mic. He paused. Then he spoke. I was born with darkness, but I found my light. That light was inside, and it burns every day. He raised his voice. Everyone has this fire. You have it, but you must feed it. He shared his routine. He said, I feed my mind with strength. I speak words of power. I stand like a leader. I breathe like a warrior. He told them about choices. He said, you can choose fear, or you can choose faith. You can choose excuses, or you can choose results. People sat still. They felt his energy. They felt his truth. He asked, what do you focus on? What story are you telling yourself? Is that story helping you, or is it hurting you? He paused. He said, change your story and you change your life. He spoke about standards. He said, raise your standards. Stop accepting less. Stop saying, I can't. Start saying, I will. The crowd clapped. People stood up. They felt alive. He said, The greatest power is not outside, it is inside. It is your decision. It is your belief. It is your inner fire. That day, people left different. They felt new. They felt brave. They felt ready. And he walked off the stage, not as a blind man, but as a light, as a mirror, as a leader. He woke up feeling tired. His head was heavy. His heart felt weak. He sat still. He thought, "Why do I feel this way? Why is this happening?" He tried to smile, but his mind was not calm. This was a storm, not outside, but inside. He felt doubt. He felt fear. He felt alone. He breathed deeply. He remembered Tony's words. "Your mind is a garden. You can grow flowers, or you can grow weeds." He stood up. He said, "This storm is not the end. This is a test." He put on his shoes. He stepped outside. He felt the wind. He smiled. "The wind is strong, but so am I." He started walking. Each step was a choice. He chose strength. He chose faith. He reached his classroom. The students were waiting. He said, "Today we learn about storms, not the ones in the sky, but the ones in our minds." He taught them how to face pain, how to accept truth, how to transform hurt into healing. He said, "You must feel before you heal. You must stand before you soar. Pain can build you, or it can break you. You decide." One student raised his hand. He asked, "How do you stay strong?" The man paused. He said, "I do not wait to feel so ready. I take action. I move. I speak. I stand." He taught them Tony's triad. 1. Change your physiology. 2. Change your focus. 3. Change your language. He said, "This is how you control your state. This is how you win." The storm was still there, but he was bigger than the storm. He taught his students to become warriors. He told them, "You are not weak. You are not lost. You are becoming." The class clapped. Their eyes were wet. Their hearts were on fire. The blind man smiled. He was not just teaching. He was changing lives. He was invited to speak in another city. It was far. He had never traveled that far alone. His friend asked, "Are you sure? You can't see. What if you get lost?" He smiled. He said, "I can't see the Gun Road, but I can see my own mission, and that is enough." He packed his bag. He carried his stick. He wore a white shirt. He took a deep breath. He said, "Courage is not as loud. Courage is taking the step when your legs are shaking." He boarded the bus. He listened to the driver. He counted every stop. He felt the road. He followed the vibrations. He memorized the turns. When he arrived, he was tired, but he was not afraid. He entered a hall filled with students. Some were disabled. Some were depressed. Some were quiet. He walked to the front. He raised his voice. "You are not what happened to you. You are what you decide to become." He shared his journey. He spoke about fear. He spoke about choice. He spoke about strength. He said, "I can't see your own faces, but I can feel your hearts. And I know your heart wants more." He walked across the stage. He touched the wall. He said, "Courage is on the other side of this wall. You just have to push." A young girl stood up. She was in a wheelchair. She asked, "What if I fail?" He answered, "Then you try out again. Failing means you pusses moved. Most people never move." He paused. He said, "The door to your dream is called courage. You must open it, even if you can't see what's behind." The students stood. They clapped. They cried. They believed. One by one they came forward. They thanked him. He touched each hand. He felt each tear. He said, "You are not alone. You are strong. Even if you forgot, I am here to remind you." Years passed. He became known in many places. People called him the blind guide. But he was not just a speaker. He was a builder of hearts, a builder of minds. He created a small center. He named it the Door. He said, "This place is for those who forgot their power. This is where we remember." Children came. Old men came. Women with broken dreams came. He listened. He taught. He healed. One day a reporter asked, "You can't see. You grew up poor. How did you do all this?" He smiled. He said, "Because I was blind, I learned to see. I learned to see through faith, through feeling, through purpose. We think sight is a vision, but real vision comes from within. The reporter asked, "What's your message to the world?" He stood up. He held his stick. He spoke strongly. "Do not wait. Do not blame. Do not hide. You are the answer you've been waiting for." He walked toward the door of his center. He touched the wall. On it were words he had written years ago. "Pain is real, but so is power. You can live dumb blind, or you can see through memory, through a meaning, through choice." A young boy came running. He was holding a stick. He too was blind. He hugged the man. He said, "I want to be like you." The man smiled. He touched his face. He said, "No, you will be greater, because you have a high light that no darkness can touch." And as the sun had set, the blind man stood tall, his eyes closed, but his vision clearer than ever. He had turned his pain into draw power, his limits into see legacy, and his darkness into light for the world.